Cronky. American woman, stay away from me. American woman, mama, let me be. Don't come walking around my door. I don't wanna see your face no more. I got more important things to do than spend my time growing old with you. Now, woman, stay away. American woman, listen what I say. Hey guys, y'all know who it is, what's going on, when it's happening, where it's at, and why we're here today. How you doing? It is I, the sublimely magnificent Big Ugly himself, Omari Ellis, feogrande on YouTube, Pete on this show, depending on the day and time, and I'm here with another episode of the Whatever We Want podcast, and as usual, I am joined by the one who also makes this show, the one who bears watching and thus brings in the views, the none other than the great Superjaz.
Well, my quick question before I introduce Guy himself is, was that the original version or the Lenny Kravitz version? Ooh.
Lenny.
I was just messing with you. You knew Lenny Kravitz. You knew that was a cover when Lenny
Yes.
Kravitz did it, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm not that stupid.
You said it almost like Lenny. Like, first of all, like what you said it like I asked you.
Well, it's the superior version.
You said it. I ain't getting all that. You said it like I asked you. You said like I asked you a stupid question.
Because you did. Because Lenny's the superior version.
And then you looked like you didn't know that he did a cover. So I was like, whatever. Anyway, as you say, yes, I'm the other host of the show. You can definitely, if you would like to address me, you can call me, or if you'd like to address me, you can go ahead and hit up my DM, get my address, and go ahead and sign something after I get a PO box and send it in. Okay, that was very, very, very corny and stupid. If you would like to address me, you can call me by my name, call me when you want, call me when it. Okay, anyway. You would like to address me, you can call me by my name, which would be Jazz. Or you may call me, if you would feel so inclined, Superjaz, SJJT, whatever you want, what have you, and the like. And yes, as my good friend here said, this is the Whatever We Want podcast, where I always say that we do not lead the conversation. The conversation leads us. We do just that, where we talk about whatever we want, and we let the chips fall where they may. We let these chips
every Wednesday. See, this time I was tripping off of your getting mad at me about the not knowing which one. I was actually more mad about the not knowing what version of American Woman I was doing, because I was thinking about it.
Up on that shit?
No, because I'm like, it was definitely the Lenny. The listen what I say.
I was making a stupid
that was definitely the Lenny version that he does that, because like the other one is the white American Woman. Stay away from me, American woman. Listen what I say.
It sounded like
that's completely different.
Listen
what I say, and listen what I say. Like those are different.
Yes, Pete. Yes, it sounded.
So that's
more
why
like,
I got thrown off.
It fucking matter, but it was a fucking stupid little comment. This man sitting here like, this motherfucker really didn't ask me. You'll be thinking about that shit fucking 2 days.
I made it obvious.
You're gonna be saying that, talking about that shit 2 days from now. You're gonna be at work and somebody gonna ask you something, and you go, "Hey, Omari, can you pass this so and so?" This motherfucker really didn't know if I was Lenny. I'll be like, "What the no?"
No, like in my head, because I was like, I'm pretty sure. Sorry, but yes, every Wednesday.
He's gonna be in therapy. So why are we here today? One of my best friends didn't know if it was Lenny Kravitz or the original.
It ain't that serious.
Hey, thank you.
It ain't that serious. I ain't gonna be in no fucking therapy.
Thank you. You're gonna be like, he didn't know if it was Lenny Kravitz or the original. She goes like, no, they all got the pen. Uh-huh. Take the glasses off.
Or they just start writing in the notebook.
I hear you. How does that make you feel now?
Apparently, I'll tell you how it's about to make me feel. About as mad as half of this. Wait, you haven't finished your intro, have you? You said Chips Fall May every Wednesday. There we go.
I was going to do that right after to like introduce the show. The fact that you was like hung up like, he really didn't fucking know. Like, really, bro? American woman, what do we want me?
Speaking of America.
Anyway.
One of the new American pastime, if you ask me. Yes, we have America's greatest pastime, the old baseball. And yes, I am a fan. I am lucky enough to be a fan of a fantastic baseball franchise. But the modern day American pastime, the American present time, if you will, is football. And the Sunday after this airs, or the Sunday before this airs, I should say, there was a game. And there's going to be a game coming up this week for us, known as the Super Bowl. And last time we had the boy Ibn on the show. Yeah, so the last time we had the boy Ibn on the show, the one we call Tucker. He said himself, we call him Tucker. Yes, well, last time we had the man they call Tucker on the show. We talked about football, and I think we made some silly predictions for the Super Bowl. I know I mentioned Steelers at one point, but I think I said it was going to be Chiefs-Bucks rematch. Neither of them motherfuckers is in there. No Chiefs. No Bucks.
Retired in one of those teams.
So people say. I'll believe it when he starts the next season, not on anybody's team. I ain't doing no backflips just yet.
He said it too, Joe.
No, Brett retired 5 times or whatever, and he was injured Brett retired 3 times. Brett retired 3 times, and he was injured far more than the other guy. So
casual fan, but it was weird for me to be like seeing that motherfucker playing on the fucking Vikings.
Mm-hmm. Well, yes. What? Yeah, especially because they're division rivals.
I didn't even know that. That makes it even crazier.
Mm-hmm. But he also played on the Jets and had one of his worst seasons because it's like they say, when you're a Jet all the way. Isn't that right, Sam Darnold, you fucking terrible-ass quarterback? Anyway, Sam Darnold.
Some blew us out on Twitter. No, Sam.
Think Sam Darnold gives a fuck about what I think? No. He don't give a fuck about what any Carolina Panthers fans think. Otherwise, he would play better. Sam Darnold's the quarterback for the Carolina Panthers. They decided to go with him over a one Cam Newton, who's only the best quarterback the franchise has had. You know.
Oh, my God.
And he proceeded to play poorly. I'm not salty about it, though. I'm outright furious. Anyhow, the Super Bowl is this weekend.
That is a line from a comedy. Like, not literally, but the way you said it, that sounded like that'd be a line in a comedy. I'm not salty. I'm not outright furious. That shit was funny as hell. Anyway.
But, this isn't about Sam Darnold and other quarterbacks who won't be there. It's about the people who will be. On one side, we have unfortunately, we have LA's Rams. It is sad to see that happen. They're probably going to walk into one of the freest Super Bowls ever. It's going to be a blowout. It's not going to be pretty, and I'm going to hate every second of it. But if you think for 1 second that I'm rooting for that team to win, then you might as well root for me to fucking, or you might as well assume that I'm going to somehow walk out of my house wearing like a fucking Tom Brady cape while I fucking fly through the air to New England and move there for life. Fuck no. Fuck all that shit. Fuck the Rams.
Are you never gonna move to New England because you don't like Brady?
Well, I'm just trying to say the Patriots.
I'm being silly.
Brady's no longer a Patriot, so I have to separate the two entities.
I would hope that you would not let this man not let you move to a whole region just because he came from there. I'd be like, bruh.
Now, I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't necessarily have a problem with the city of Boston. I just hate every single one of their sport teams.
Oh yeah, no, you've said this at least on probably 3 or 4 episodes.
And one of them is just gonna have to hold the fact that they lost to us in the Stanley Cup recently, but that's neither here nor there. So yeah. Anyway, I'm not rooting for the LA Rams. I've had people tell me, like, hey, you can bandwagon back onto the Rams now, huh? It's been enough time, right? You forgive them, right? I think St. Louis fans have earned the right to root for a good team again. You know, you guys, after what you put through, you guys should be able to get back on the bandwagon. Should we let them? Fuck all of y'all, okay? Go fucking run into a tree or some shit.
Damn.
What? You can run into a tree without dying? Just go harm yourself. Don't kill yourself. Go harm yourself. Telling people to kill themselves is wrong. I can tell them to go hurt themselves, like slap themselves across the face or something. But running into a tree might hurt a bit more than slapping yourself on the face.
This shit is calculated. This motherfucker thought that shit out.
So, go run into a tree or some shit. No, I'm sick of that shit. Motherfucker, y'all know damn well y'all wouldn't have done it in the same fucking situation if you have any kind of fucking soul. So, don't fucking sit here and tell St. Louis fans to root for LA now after the way they left. And again, I always tell people, it's not about the fact that they left. It's how they left.
One of my coworkers,
how they left.
He is in his early 60s, right? Just had a birthday. You know, I work with a lot of people.
Well, he's old enough to be like, well, that's LA's team anyway. Eh.
No. But what I was gonna say was I work with people who are all kind of ages, like around my age. Like by the time this goes up, I'll be a few days into 31. Work with people who around my age, maybe a little younger. I work with a good amount of people who are probably pushing 50. Definitely some people who might be in their 60s or whatever. So this dude early 60s, and black dude, and he and I even told him because I'm a casual fan, but it's a whole bunch of dudes in the kitchen. So they all they watch football, right? Like watch football, like on a consistent basis, keeping up with shit. And, it's just dudes talking shit. They talk about it, everything like that. Like apparently one dude is like a huge Packers fan to the point where they said this dude showed up with like Green Bay Packers socks one day or some shit. So when the Packers lost, they like damn near everybody in the kitchen because they all been working together for a minute before I came in. He said everybody in the kitchen couldn't wait to see him so they could talk shit about the Packers losing, which was funny. But no, what you say about the Rams was he is still a Rams fan. And I said to him, I was like, you're the only person I know for real in St. Louis that's a Rams fan like that. Because pretty much everybody I know in St. Louis, especially people who keep up with football for real, they don't like the Rams after what happened. And he was like, man, so his thing wasn't as LA's team anyway. He's like, man, he said, you ain't got nothing to be mad about with the team. He said, you be mad at that man Kroenke.
Okay, their success is his success.
Now, this shit was funny as hell.
Their success is his success.
He's like, you ain't gonna be mad at the team. And I just thought that was so funny because I was like, nobody for real I know in St. Louis, especially if you're like a certain age to be old enough to remember how they left to be mad about it. Nobody I know in St. Louis is like, oh, go Rams, because everybody is still fucking mad as shit about the way they left on some like middle fingers to y'all type of shit. But
Yeah, and it was the middle fingers too. Was on top of it. There's a reason that St. Louis was able to sue the asshole. Like the city of St. Louis was able to sue Stan Kroenke. There's a reason that was a justified lawsuit, and the NFL had to pay money. He didn't for whatever fucking reason. The other owners decided to pitch in and pay for him, but St. Louis still won that lawsuit against the NFL and Stan Kroenke. So that should tell you, in and of itself, that was some shady bullshit to begin with. But the whole go there, the whole thing where he came out, not that I would have been anyway, but the fact that he even came out and went like, I don't even want fans who were St. Louis Rams fans to be fans of the LA team. Fuck that city. Posted up billboards how good it is to be in a real city for once and shit. No, fuck Stan Kroenke.
Hey, even though that's the most fuck us type shit. What? Wow. Some people are just blatantly dicks. Anyway.
So, yes, I'm not rooting for the LA Rams. I'm rooting for that team on the other side that has no business fucking being here. And it's the Cincinnati Bengals. And now people are like, they have no business being here. Ain't you seen what they've done? Yes, I have. And I'm telling you, there's no way a team with no offensive line whatsoever that decided, rather than to draft an offensive line after their quarterback got a season-ending injury, they decided to draft a fucking, what did they draft? They drafted a kicker and a wide receiver. Both apparently at said quarterback's request. And boy, those have been the best decisions they made. But no team should survive going up against a team like the Titans and getting sacked 9 times. When you get sacked 9 times, you have no business winning that game.
That sounds like a bad game. If you
the Bengals won. They won a game where their quarterback got sacked 9 times, and I don't even think he turned the ball over in that game, despite getting sacked 9 times. Fucking Sam Bradford, former St. Louis Ram, gets hit twice, and he just panics if you get within like 8 yards of him. And that's, I get it. Man got hit all the time. I understand why he got scared. Hell, to give Sam Darnold some credit, I understand why he's scared. He's done nothing but get hit his entire time in the NFL. But, as Joe Burrow proved, you could either sit there and be scared and throw interceptions because, someone breathed on me, or you can man up and win the game. Also, their kicker, McPherson, is McFearless. Mm-hmm. This motherfucker goes out there just, we got a chance to win. Guess we're going to the AFC Championship. Walk out there. Boop. Last week, guess we're going to the Super Bowl. Boop. Kicks it in. I did it. Also, they had no business beating the Chiefs. The Chiefs, I know Tucker was upset. Because he's a Chiefs fan now. I had a chance to be a Chiefs fan. Kind of glad I didn't, because I would have ended up being hated by my roommate. Oh, yes. Because he's a Bears fan, and there are people who make fun of the Bears every time the Chiefs do something good because they didn't draft the Chiefs quarterback.
Mahomes, okay.
Now, Mahomes on the Bears would not be the same that Mahomes on the Chiefs is. Because at the end of the day, he still would have had the same coach and same bad front office decisions that any other Bears quarterback has had. But he ain't. But nonetheless, the man's got 2 Super Bowl appearances and 4 straight AFC Championship appearances.
That man, he be running his ass off and scrambling and shit, throw the ball type shit or whatever. Yeah.
But enough about that. Like people know, I'm a Carolina Panthers fan now since the move that the Rams did from St. Louis. However, a few months ago, a friend of mine got me a face mask just because he was somewhere. And I'm like, well, it's very appropriate that I got this mask now because when it comes time for the Super Bowl, I know exactly who I'm rooting for. In the year of the Tiger. I'm going to go ahead and root for the Bengals. The Cincinnati Bengals, they're tigers. It's the year of the tiger. I may or may not be a tiger on the Chinese zodiac. And this is a blue and black, which are the Panthers' colors, mask that happens to have tiger stripes.
Tiger stripes.
So I'm like, oh, it's perfect. I have a perfect mask for it. I could root for the Bengals while wearing a Panthers mask. Also, fun fact that I learned recently, apparently tigers are technically panthers. Apparently Panthera is just like a big cat, like the big cats are all Pantheras. Yeah, I learned that from like a fucking like Animal Channel and shit on stuff.
All I know of
tigers, lions, and all of them.
Panthera is an old school rock band. That's all I know.
Also true. But like the genus for all of those for the big cats is all Pantheras. Anyway. So I'm rooting for the Bengals. I'm rooting for Joe Burrow because that guy may just be the truth. We'll see. Especially if he beats the Rams, he's the truth. And what I'm interested in, by the way, so my pick for who's going to win, unfortunately, the Rams are going to win and it's not going to even be close. However, I'm rooting for the Bengals because that would be fucking ridiculous. Also, that is going to change the way we look at rookie quarterbacks from here on. Like, we're already starting to look at them different, but especially if this motherfucker wins, then I feel bad for every rookie quarterback going forward. Because if you ain't putting up stats or winning or on a Super Bowl contender by your second year, people are going to just deem you trash.
This is his first year?
This is his second year. This is his first full season. Because last season he got injured with an ACL.
How many games in, do you know?
Nope.
Okay. But his first full season and the team goes to the Super Bowl.
With no offensive line.
That is crazy.
So that'll be interesting. But when you look at him, you look at a Pat Mahomes, who also was AFC Championship, Super Bowl, whatever, within his first 2 seasons. Lamar Jackson clearly showed he belonged here within his first 2 seasons. Kyler Murray, Josh Allen, who could have just as easily been facing the Bengals because he had that duel with Patrick Mahomes that they went to overtime, and the overtime coin toss decided the game because both teams were pretty much scoring every time they had the ball. And overtime, first team with the ball wins, which I thought was going to happen with the Bengals. And then Pat Mahomes threw an interception in overtime, and then the Bengals kicker went out there, boop, 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 boop. McFearless. So yeah. The Bengals have no business being here, but here they are. And it's going to be interesting where it's like, well, now, unfortunately, every quarterback going forward is going to be judged on their first 2 years. If you ain't at the very least putting up numbers and setting like records where it's like, okay, clearly you ain't the problem with this team, you're going to be seen as trash and your fan base is going to be wanting you out of that city. Like, the leash that people give rookies is now like gone.
I mean, but like, okay, like I said again, I don't know as much as you would know about stuff, but there's no way this is the first rookie quarterback, like first full season, whether it be first year, second year. There's no way this is the first quarterback or even first rookie that people started taking notice of.
No, I'm agreeing with you.
Well, I'm saying that didn't do this good though, because you're saying he's gonna be kind of like the benchmark. I'm saying there's no way this is. No,
okay. And did you not hear me list like 8 other people that are doing this in the same time period? Your fucking Pat Mahomes, your Josh Allens, your Lamar Jacksons, your Kyler Murrays. Like the way the scope of the quarterback thing is now is all like. First 2 years, you got to at least be putting up ridiculous, oh my God. You got to be, yeah.
I would say you got to remember, you listed those people, and I don't follow the sport like that.
Okay, yes. Your favorite quarterback ever, Tom Brady, his first season won a Super Bowl. Congratulations. Okay, Kurt Warner came off a fucking arena team and won a Super Bowl too. So yes, it's happened before. let me finish my point. The fact of the matter is, everybody, like,
bro.
this is a recent thing. That's why I said at least it's getting shorter. Because you had those things in the past where someone would show up and fucking do a thing, and it's like, whatever, but most of the time, people got a leash. Like, okay, yeah, they didn't have a good first season, but Peyton Manning didn't have a good first season, and he turned out to be Peyton fucking Manning. You know what I mean? So give him some time. Hell, Mitch Trubisky, the guy that's the reason people make fun of the Bears, because they got Mitch Trubisky instead of Pat Mahomes. Mitch Trubisky, for all the criticisms he gets, still made it to the postseason. Like, twice. Out of his, 3 seasons as a starter, he went to the postseason twice. So, people are like, yeah, you didn't win a Super Bowl like Pat Mahomes, but you definitely went to the playoffs. Give him some time to develop, you know? But give him some time to develop shit ain't gonna be happening no more. It's like, oh, you ain't Pat Mahomes, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, Kyler Murray, those kind of things coming right out the gate. Get your ass out of my fucking league. Like Trevor Lawrence, the guy that everyone thought was gonna be real good and shit, came out this year. He's on the Jaguars, which are the Jaguars. They're not a good team. They've never been a good team. Unfortunately, I have a friend who's a Jaguars fan. I want the Jaguars to do good because I have a friend that I want my friend to be happy when he watches sports. They're terrible. But everyone just saw them be bad this season. They're like, yeah, Trevor Lawrence ain't the truth. He couldn't carry that team out of their suckiness, especially if the Jaguars don't make some kind of full ass recovery next year. Because here's the other thing about what's his name, Joe Burrow and the Bengals. Patrick Mahomes, yeah, he turned the team around. Oh well, yeah, he was in the AFC Championship in the second year. Blah blah blah. He was number 11, number 12 overall pick or some shit. So it's not like his team was trash. When they did it, and they might have traded up to get him as well as some of these other quarterbacks. The Bengals, when they got Joe Burrow, were the number 1 overall draft pick, and they picked him number 1. They had 2 wins. They went from a 2-win team to a Super Bowl team practically overnight. That don't happen. That does not happen. Cam Newton, I think, got signed to a 2-win or something along those lines Carolina team. Sorry, I wasn't a Panthers fan at that time. I liked them. I never hated the Panthers. But I wasn't actively rooting for them at the time, so I don't remember their records and stuff and all of that back then. However, it took him about 5 years before he was in a Super Bowl. Yeah, but he also set rookie records and all that stuff. So you could clearly see the talent was there. But yeah, so it's going to be interesting if Joe Burrow and them win it. I'm hoping they do, not because I'm rooting against future rookie quarterbacks and nothing, but more because fuck the Rams. Also, yay Tigers, and it's the year of the Tiger. It'd be very appropriate if the Bengals win, because year of the Tiger, let's go. Yeah, it's the water tiger, actually. Which even more makes this appropriate because it's a blue tiger stripe there.
You and your finding ways to justify the mask. That's funny.
The first one was just a cool mask he got me. It's also reversible. The other side says Zubaz.
Which used to be old school workout pants that people wore in the early mid 90s. Mm-hmm. What the fuck? Right. Hold on. Yeah. And I think they had colorful, they were colorful and had shit like zebra and tiger stripes. Well, I'll be damned.
Yep.
They still making motherfucking clothes.
Mm-hmm. And even if they're not doing it as much, there's a character that's shown up in a lot of indie games based off of some unused character art for a Street Fighter 2 character who looked weird. I'll show you afterwards. But he had some pants on that said Zubaz. And he could have been a Street Fighter 2 character, but he was rejected and he didn't make it into the cast. But when some people found out about this and were making fun of it, they were some YouTubers. But they eventually started paying money for like certain indie games for that character or a character with a very similar design to show up in. So he's shown up in a bunch of games, including Shovel Knight, Dive Kick, some other stuff as like either Baz or they don't call him straight up Zubaz. They call him like the Baz or Baz or something along those lines.
Oh, he didn't have a name first?
Yeah, right. Because, like I said, he was a rejected design, but he had these Zubaz pants on. They don't put Zubaz on his pants, but they get the general design of the character, and they call him Baz. And he's been in a bunch of games and stuff, and I think that's part of why this was at, like, some mini gaming convention. Because Zubaz.
That's funny. Going back to what we were saying, though, is like, I mean... You fuck the Rams, right? But if you root for Cincinnati, you still get to root for the Midwest.
Also true. But yeah, I've always been indifferent to the Bengals. But I'm going to a Super Bowl party. It should be fun. I usually go. I'm probably not going to be able to root for the Bengals out loud, but I'm gonna. Because I know some of the people at that Super Bowl party are Steelers fans. Steelers and Bengals are in the same division. And even though it's not really a rivalry because the Steelers don't have any true rivals, if you ask me, it's one of those things kind of like the assholes or the Packers or stuff like that where you always win the division. I get why other teams hate you. Why do you hate the other teams? However, I can actually kind of understand the Steelers and Bengals hating each other because there have been multiple rules made in the NFL based off of that rivalry itself because the motherfuckers keep injuring one another in, like, new ways that require a new rule. Usually involving, like, concussions or horse collars or other shit like that where they just, like, those two teams hate each other.
I'm trying to figure out where, because I know what it is, but where the term like horse collar came from. Like, why do they call it a horse collar? I know what it is. Yeah, that's when you tackle somebody, you're not supposed to grab their clothes, and then the horse collar is definitely grabbing them by their straight up sticking your hand in the collar of their jersey and slamming them down there.
Yeah.
Right. But I'm just like, where did horse come from for that?
Whoa. When you pull back on a horse, you're pulling back on their neck because they got like a collar on. Like, whoa.
It's more so they got the bar in their mouth too. They got all the you put the bar in the horse's mouth and you pull it back in their mouth. Actually, if you really think about it, it is extremely invasive and a little fucked up how we ride horses. But anyway.
Yes.
It's like some random thing on
it's
your
like
back.
There's a whole movement about how people hate or how people mistreat animals or something out there.
Well, Pete, what could that be? So yeah, see, I stole your stick. Okay. Because sometimes you do the whole, so and so, what could that be? Like you do that shit.
Nah,
you don't know what I'm talking about. Never mind.
But fair enough. I believe you. That's not even my stick. I stole that from somebody. The fair enough.
Well, fair enough?
Yeah.
Who'd you steal that from?
Niz.
Well, that's nobody I can think of on top of my head. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you can, but I'm just not using his real name. Why the fuck didn't I just use that as his name? I'm stupid.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
I'm stupid. Like, no one knows what I'm saying back when I say that.
The whole X and this and that shit that they
yes.
with the party.
Yes. Well, yeah, or like with the party, or just in general on the channel where, I got people that I call one thing where it's like, why the fuck did you choose that? And it's like, well, you see, this one time we referred to them as this.
Like you want to call this person? They like stare at the wall for like 30 seconds. No, I'm joking. Like trying to go with the whole fucking like, shit. Well, I can't call him someone's like. What was that one episode where you were naming people about to tell a story and you were just like, fuck it, I'm just gonna say their name. We got that one episode where you started off with Vancouver, China shit, and then my ass got too happy, and you had to cut it out because I straight up was like, yeah, it said his first and last name. I was like, yeah, so and so. He lives at blah 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 address. I ain't say all that shit, but he drives
I was just like, does he want his whole name out there like that?
He drives a so-and-so car. It is this year.
Mm-hmm.
Normally seen spotted wearing this jersey, this shirt. Like, the fuck,
mm-hmm. Him, by the way.
But
whatever. You don't get it? Fair enough. Anyway, we'll move on. Football. So, Jazz,
that was
as someone who doesn't watch football,
casually.
Who are you rooting for? Who are you rooting for this Super Bowl?
I mean, I would probably lean more so towards the Bengals for the simple fact that they're still the Midwest team and a little bit of the way they left and everything like that. Like, you just kind of pick up like with, the whole, F the Rams type of shit. But for the most part, like a lot of games, especially playoffs, especially Super Bowl, I ain't really got no horse in this race. You just want to see a good game. No horse collar in this race, no.
Mm-hmm.
You just want to see a good game. So if the Rams win, I won't care as much. I'll be maybe a little bit upset because, again, the whole city of St. Louis, to an extent, except for one of my coworkers, is on some, F the Rams shit. So, casual or especially otherwise. But like I say, if the Rams win, I won't be as mad as like maybe Ibn, my big bro, or like you would. But I'll still probably be a little like, like if the Rams win, the level of fuck this would probably be out of the three of us, you at the fucking top. You'll be like, fuck this shit. Then Ibn, not too far behind you. And then, I'll be somewhere in there. So a little more Bengals, but at the same time. And also
Tiger
uppercut.
I'm hoping they uppercut the motherfuckers right off the fucking planet.
Bruh, could you imagine if you watching a fucking football game and somebody runs in to sack the quarterback, and then when they go to sack the dude, instead of sacking him, they just fucking let off a fucking from downtown Mike Tyson uppercut on this.
Yeah, and if the asshole Supreme has retired, then fucking the Rams are pretty much going to be the NFC team in the Super Bowl for like the next 5 years with no real competition to stop them, because the NFC is trash. All those quarterbacks I mentioned, except for maybe Kyler Murray, they're all AFC. And the Super Bowl usually is AFC versus NFC.
I know that.
Yeah. So the AFC is going to be competitive. The NFC is a cakewalk for the Rams because they built a super team. They kept taking like a lot of teams' best players and putting them on there. 8 of their starters are first round picks in the draft. 8 of them. That's ridiculous. And none of them were drafted by them except for maybe Aaron Donald. Actually, definitely Aaron Donald. Everybody else, they just took from somebody else's team.
They're like recreating the greatest show on turf in LA, damn near.
At least we drafted our own players for the greatest show on turf.
Greatest
we
show
ain't
on turf.
take the Jaguars players and then take Von Miller from the Broncos and then take Matt Stafford out of Detroit and then take all these other people, Odell Beckham Jr. from the Browns halfway through the year. We ain't do all of that. We found it off of a fucking grocery store line. Like, hey, you want to play quarterback in the NFL? Cool, Super Bowl. Here, have a movie.
I was say a movie about that dude.
That surprised the hell out of me.
Me and my mom were gonna go see it, but we just our schedules didn't line up and stuff like that. But yeah,
I haven't seen it. I'm not even sure if I am, but I was just surprised because I was like leaving the movie theater after seeing the new Matrix movie, and I was like, is that
Yep.
Number 13. That looks like Kurt.
Yep.
Is that a Kurt Warner move? Why?
American Underdog.
They only won one Super Bowl. But hey, it is what it is.
The main character is Zachary Levi, who got his start in the old show Chuck, which I never checked out, and just recently, most notably for playing Shazam. And then you got Anna Paquin, I believe, that plays his wife, who...
Sookie?
Sookie?
Sookie Stackhouse.
I don't know the name of Kurt Warner's wife, if that's what you're getting at. And
no, I was talking about Anna Paquin.
I'll say whatever joke you are making, I'm not getting it.
Anna Paquin, also known as #NotMyRogue, but
I was about to say she was most notably for playing Rogue in the original X-Men movies.
Also, Sookie Stackhouse in the HBO show True Blood.
That's right.
The main female protagonist.
No, she got a lot of notoriety for True Blood, which I never really saw it yet. About vampires going around killing people and fucking each other, apparently. So.
Much like Game of Thrones, decent first few seasons, last few seasons make you wonder why you watched it at all.
Oh, so you watched a lot of True Blood.
I stopped after the first episode of the last season. All my friends did. All my friends down here did. Because I technically got into it due to some friends in St. Louis, like Bob the Tomato and others. Because it had just really started around then. And I wanted to watch it with them. Because it was around 2010 when I moved back to St. Louis briefly. Hanging with Bob the Tomato and Pins, they were like, hey, check out this True Blood show. And I'm like, oh, okay. Really like the theme song. I did. It's because the fucking guitar, dude. It was awesome. But that's, woo! Minor spoilers for the last season. First episode. Shit's going down. And in the melee of shit going down, they just kind of turn, and one of the main reasons I watched the show and was watching or even still hanging on to the show, I'm like, well, at least this character's still in here. Turns out shit goes down, and then we just cut to that person's mom like, ah, my baby, they killed my baby, and she's dead. Then the opening credits start. Mind you, this character is not someone that should be written off screen before the opening credits of the first episode of the final season, but because it's like the best friend of the main character. So she's had a lot of important moments throughout the series.
They inexplicably just killed off somebody that was super important. Off screen before the opening credits. Yeah. She's dead. And I'm like, well, why watch? One of the last few things I was watching for. And then you just did that. And my other friends were like, yeah, because Sookie, Anna Paquin, #NotMyRogue, she, character arc-wise, throughout the series for me, just write down, you were looking at myself. No, I was just, so you knew what I was doing. She took a nosedive. The main male character, by the name of, I want to say Bill, Vampire Bill. Not a fan of him either. He's kind of a creep. Do they call him Vampire Bill, or you say
he's a vampire and his name is Bill?
Okay, I was hoping they didn't call this man Vampire Bill.
He started down and just whatever. Cool vampire Eric. He took some hits to his character throughout it. Jessica was all right. Jason Stackhouse, and I think they did some shit to him. I forget what happened to Lafayette, but Tara was part of the reason to watch, and they fucking killed her off in the opening credits of the last, or before the opening credits. It's like literally.
That's not even like spoiler no more. But what was I gonna say? Why? So there's a whole #NotMyRogue thing that people do. I didn't think the rogue was that bad. Okay.
There's a reason I say not mine, not our. I didn't say not our rogue. No, I say #NotMyRogue because well, do you remember #NotMyPresident?
Of course.
Okay.
That was everywhere. Right.
Yeah, that's all. I liked when I was younger. I was fine with her as Rogue. As I got older, I'm like, and she's still a great actress. Blah blah blah. Not say anything against her herself. More like just the movie's version of Rogue. Not my Rogue. I like
Well,
90s cartoon Rogue. I like the comics Rogue. I like other Rogues more. She's hashtag not my Rogue.
If you think about it, the Rogue in the movie that she portrayed, and that's got to be more on the writing and the direction, right? The Rogue in the movie she portrayed, as opposed to the Rogue in the cartoon, Rogue is definitely supposed to be more brash and confident in your face, you know, and that Rogue in the X-Men movies was more like kind of shy and soft-spoken, so it was almost the exact opposite.
And so, to be fair, with the nature of Rogue's powers, you could definitely go either way with her, especially because in the comics she's had her ups and downs, just like anybody does. So it was just more like, I don't prefer that version of Rogue.
And she also she didn't have an accent either, I don't think.
She had a little bit of one. Because, Sookie Stackhouse was also Southern.
Because what's the name? Rogue called everybody Suge in the fucking original 90s cartoon. And shit.
Fucking love 90s Rogue.
Yeah.
Up there in the background.
Oh, that's Rogue? You can like kind of make it up.
Okay. Ow!
And you have a Scott Pilgrim poster. I did not know that.
Yeah, movie poster. I got it from a roommate.
I could not get through that movie.
It was a fine movie. Then again, you hate a lot of movies.
No, I don't. And you just get quiet. What the fuck?
Rather than go into a whole nother diatribe about movies.
I was like...
That we've also talked about you hating or not liking that other people love.
Well, I mean, shit. Speaking of movies that define a generation, at least I've seen one of them.
Which one? Which one are we talking about?
Movie looking ass bitch.
Which one? Movies that Scott Pilgrim did not define a fucking generation.
No, I'm going back.
Bali does not define a generation. They're just good movies to watch.
I'm going back to what we talked about with Space Jam at the beginning of the podcast.
Yes, I saw the original Space Jam. What?
I saw Space Jam, but I'm talking about when you want to talk about good movies and me not liking it, whatever, blah, blah, blah. What I'm saying is, at least when it comes to movies, I didn't make my point as clear. At least when it comes to movies, and you want to talk about movies, define generations and all that shit, at least I have seen some movies, motherfucker, because your ass, and yeah, go back, people, in the archives of this, because this will be episode 50, which is crazy. We're almost coming up on a year. But go back in the archives and look with your fucking a goofy movie seeing ass motherfucker.
Again, I've seen a Goofy movie. I think it is a good movie.
No, that was the problem, right?
I just didn't say it was the best movie ever.
That was the problem. That was the issue. I forgot. No,
I didn't here's a movie everybody likes. I think this movie is utter garbage.
I was condemning. I'm condemning you for not seeing a Goofy movie. I forgot. It's the fact that you saw a Goofy movie and went, eh. That's the issue.
I like it. Because I'm not, jacking off to it at night. Suddenly, I'm not an actual fan of the movie.
Oh, shit. That's funny. But see, that's the whole thing. There's some movies that define the millennial or the Generation Y generation that you are supposed to fucking love to the point where, yeah, you stroke yourself when it comes on. And those movies are not exclusive to, but mention a Goofy movie, Space Jam, Matilda, Dunstan checks in. No, I'm joking. Not Dunstan checks in. Matilda, fuck. The original Power Rangers movie with Ivan Ooze. Like, these are movies that everybody our generation saw. And yeah, the Pokemon, the first movie, all that shit.
Some of those movies. Some of those movies, while I did like them as a kid,
like you
do not require that much fandom. I actually am one of those people out there that will tell you that he thoroughly enjoyed Space Jam.
I get.
That is not a good movie.
Did you not like Matilda?
I remember being a kid and thinking Matilda was cool. I've not seen it since I was a kid.
Well, that's the whole point.
Space Jam is, like I said, while I like it and there's nostalgia involved in liking said movie, it's not a good movie. I'm sorry.
Oh no, rewatch it. It is not that good. Oh,
it is not a good movie. Like, I'll still enjoy it. I'll still laugh and quote it and all this shit. Right. However, it is not a good movie.
Oh no.
What else did you say? You said Matilda. You said something else
Matilda,
in there.
I said a Goofy movie. There's definitely more movies besides what I named, but Matilda, Goofy movie, Space Jam, Power Rangers.
Oh yeah, that's also not a good movie.
It's not.
An argument can be successfully made that a Goofy movie is just a great movie all around. It's a solid movie. Space Jam is carried by nostalgia heavily. Power Rangers, I don't even think nostalgia helps that movie, depending on who you ask.
Well, I was gonna say,
so that's why I was like, that's why I started going like, I don't know.
So I'm not so much talking about movies where it's like, I'm talking about movies that define the generation now. But Power Rangers, if you like you said, it's not a good movie. It's not a good show. If you really look at it. We look back at the Power Rangers show.
Yeah, I'll give you that, but it's also, I don't know.
Me too, as I said.
I like original Power Rangers, not a good show, but I can also see the appeal, even going back now, because at the end of the day, it's people fighting monsters and shit. It's like they were trying to do an anime thing with real people, but didn't know what they were doing, because they took like Japanese entertainment and tried to Americanize it. And it worked well enough. It's a fucking franchise that's still going on to this day. And I think eventually they started using their own clips and own stories with it for Power Rangers, as opposed to just taking stuff from Japanese Sentai shows and putting that in there.
I love it, especially even more so back then, but they stole that shit.
Oh no, they did. No, that they don't hide that.
They don't. And then they had the helmet on, and with the helmets when they be fighting and shit, that's why they morphed, and they be fighting and shit, and the way they be talking, and they just straight dubbed over it, because you didn't have to see the mouth, and they just be moving their head like, Everybody talk like, hey, you go over there and make sure that you fight the big bad guy. Like, nobody move their head.
Which, I mean, to be fair, they I'm pretty sure the Japanese version, they were also dubbing over whatever was going on, because otherwise,
especially because like mics and stuff like that, like as much money as you may have had in advance as it could have been, technology is definitely made more leaps and bounds.
Yeah, these are clips taken from the 80s that they used in the 90s.
Lavalier mics like they do now. Like, yeah.
And Rito was definitely dubbed over.
Oh.
After 1,000 years, I'm free! It's time to conquer Earth!
Alpha, Rita has escaped. And 5 teams with attitude, the Angel Grove, whatever fucking said. Thing like the main thing looking back, if you want to talk about the command center type
shit,
is
still godlike.
Huh?
The theme song is still godlike though.
Oh fuck yeah! I had that as my ringtone a few years ago. But the one thing that you want to talk about is like, and I love the show. It's the shit. The show defined the generation. But the one thing that if you want to talk about what the fuck is like on some hokey shit, you look back, bruh. The Zordon face, it was just a moving fucking face. But he was like the guy. Like this is like that dude, right? But it's just a moving face. And you remember in the movie when they they shot a beam at it and fucked the face up, so then they showed you like the actual man.
He was just like some dude laid in a bed, like, ooh.
And he was fucked up, like he was on his fucking deathbed shit, like this motherfucker had terminal illness or some shit.
What you do to my man Zordon?
Zordon, we're gonna save you. I remember thinking it was the coolest.
That's Alpha.
Mm-hmm. Oh, there's another movie that defined the generation. Little Rascals.
Alfalfa, and I can give you that one.
You don't think the other movies are named Define It right? This is the first movie out of
I'm just saying, like, as a solid movie, it's a better movie than fucking Power Rangers.
This is the first movie out of the 6 I named that you actually think define.
No, I agreed that like Space Jam and them. I'm just talking about that are also decent, at least, movies. Because I haven't seen.
That you thought was cool. Okay.
No, because I said Goofy movie is a good movie. I said that Power Rangers and Space Jam are not good movies, but they are their generation defining. Little Rascals, to my memory at least, might actually be a good movie as well. That's all I was saying. Like, I'll give you that one.
I haven't seen Little Rascals for real since I've gotten older.
Me neither.
Everything else I named, I haven't seen. Out of the 6 I named, which is, like I said, Pokemon the first movie.
That one was solid too, if I remember correctly. Hell, a fucking presidential candidate tried to quote it on his run, and I believe this line came from the Pokemon movie. And then he went on some quote about something. I'm like,
that's
funny. Kidding me?
But no, if somebody in the comments knows, go ahead and put down what he said. That'd be fun to read. Anyway, but no, I was saying out of the 6 I've named, which would I say, Matilda, Space Jam, Goofy movie, Pokemon the first movie, Power Rangers, and Little Rascals. I have not seen Pokemon or Little Rascals for real since I got older. I've seen the other 4 since I've become a grown man. Not within the last year, but as I've aged and shit. Mm-hmm. And Goofy movie is a straight up classic through and through.
Oh yeah.
Matilda still pretty much holds up. It captures the whimsy. The effects in there, which it's like all movies, the effects is like ugh in some parts, otherwise, but Space Jam and Power Rangers. Like you said, you get older. I mean, but I even said though with Power Rangers because there was nothing on TV like it at the time. So that's one of the reasons. And then, like you said, too, little kids, flashy colors, superhero shit, fighting
also
monsters.
Godzilla shit. Because every episode ended with a fucking Godzilla fight. And at the end of the day, that's good design. Because Gojira is timeless. That motherfucker's been around since the 60s and still just wins every fucking time because he's fucking Gojira and you can't do shit about him.
But no, I said like I say that looking back as I got older, I have said no wonder all the adults when Power Rangers was huge thought we were out of our fucking minds watching that shit. Because I look back and I was like, ew, what the fuck? I mean, me and my brother, we got fucking Power Rangers soaked somewhere in my mom's house.
Fair enough. There's a modern day Power Rangers fighting game that's really good. And there's a deck building game, card game. Not trading card game, but you buy all the cards with it. But you build a deck as you play it. It's weird. If you don't know what a deck building game is, it's hard for me to describe it in a succinct fashion. But there's a Power Rangers deck building game where you can kind of play either 1v1, 2v1, 2v2, or 2v1, where you got Power Rangers and villains. And the Power Rangers are OP as shit. And in all the games that my friends have played of that deck building game, the villains haven't won once. It's always been the Power Rangers. And to the point to where, after the second or third one, I was just like, well, I mean, the theme song does say no one will ever take them down. The power lies on their side. So when it got to the point to where I was like, up, and here comes the thing. Where's my phone at?
Oh, when you watch them play.
And it's showed up, oh, look, Power Rangers won again. There goes the theme music. It's over.
I still say to this day, there's no Power Rangers after Mighty Morphin. So... we had Zeo and Turbo when I watched Ish. I
stopped at Turbo.
Well, exactly. We all did. But I watched some of Zeo, but not a whole lot, and watched a few episodes of Turbo.
I have some friends that are there were other Power Rangers that are good. I just stopped at the Turbo. So I can't say. You know what I mean? Like for me, I stopped at Turbo. If you say there's other ones, show me some clips. Maybe I'll find them cool. Like the Tommy versus Tommy fight, where he turned into every version of Tommy that ever existed, and that was hilarious. Because I'm like, damn, there have been way more Tommy iterations. He's probably been every fucking Color Ranger out there, and he just keeps coming back because he's the fucking GOAT.
Well, speaking of GOAT, if you want to watch some more people who are, if you want to look at some more stuff about people who are the GOAT or will one day most likely, or at least try to be GOATed, then you can go ahead and follow us on our socials. So if you would like to follow your boy, you can go ahead and look up and like my page on Facebook. As I said, I go by Superjaz. That is spelled Superjaz. Please go ahead, give me a follow, give me a like. If also you would like to follow me on my Twitter, then you can go ahead and find the handle under Superjaz2. So that'd be Superjaz number 2. And of course, you can go ahead and find and follow my Instagram page, which is under Forever Superjaz. Forever, of course, spelled correctly. And this is one of the few podcasts where I didn't mention it once. But I am a rapper. I do get my rap on from time to time. So if you would like to listen to some of my music, anywhere you stream your music, I know what's going on in the world right now, but anywhere you stream your music, if you follow me, you can go ahead and at least right now, we'll see. But you can go ahead and find my debut album that I released a few months ago, which is titled My Secret Identity. You may have to put in Superjaz, My Secret Identity, since I'm not so famous yet. Where can they find you, Future Goat?
Wherever the fuck they want to. No, I'm kidding. You can find me here, obviously, every Wednesday. There we go. Roll the R. Every Wednesday here on this channel. You can also find me elsewhere on YouTube at YouTube/feogrande. That's Feogrande. I'm also... Why?
I just wanted to. I'm sorry.
You can also find me.
I wanted to see if you would know
on YouTube, on Twitter and Twitch at Giotavi. That's Giotavi.
My hands are here.
Check me out.
Oh shit.
Why? But yeah, that's where you can find me, and I'm always around. You can also see me randomly in other people's videos on the internet. Just funny. Apparently, I was in a video with Panda Gaming recently, so that was funny. At CEO, they were asking people questions about like tier list and stuff.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah, one of my Twitch viewers came in my stream like, I saw you in a Panda video. I'm like, oh, really? They actually did use me in a video? Oh, God. I haven't watched it, though, because I don't like watching myself.
Or, like, who comes into your stream, or was it somebody who was like...
A regular.
Okay, because I was like, it's somebody that knew the
Happy Boy Popo, too. He was also Flappy Boy Popo 1. I don't remember why there's a 2 now, but yeah.
Maybe he forgot his password. Yeah.
Mm.
But no, well...
That's why there's a Giotavi 2 on Twitter. But then I remembered my original password. So I went back to just being Giotavi.
Somewhere out there, I know, right? Speaking of Disney classics, but somewhere out there, I got a fucking Twitter under my like real name, I think. But I, and it's got like maybe 4 to 10 tweets on it, and then like it's years ago and I don't use it. But it's mainly because I forgot the damn password and the like fucking username handle and all this shit to it. So yeah. Anyway, that's what I was trying to come up with my which I still will use somewhere down the line if I actually do something with it. But my like movie or TV production company, which was Aquarian Rising Pictures, since I'm Aquarius. Yeah. Anyway, so all that being said, obviously a lot of football talk, and it's gonna come out after the Super Bowl, so you know we will see who will or who won't win and whatnot. And like I say again, we're recording before, but after I would be a few days into 31. But all that being said, that is everything that we said in the show. That is everything that we said on the outro. So that's all that we have or haven't talked about. But maybe you can help me with this one as you wear your, your Panthers, Bengals, Zubaz mask. Maybe we'll talk about that. I don't know, but what the fuck are we gonna talk about next time?
The result of the Super Bowl, or whatever we want.
Good point. Be nice to yourself, everybody.
Adiosness.
Oh shit. That's an hour 6. Oops.